Good afternoon, Irene. How are you doing today?
Wonderful, Jojo. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me here with you today.
We're absolutely grateful for you talking to us today. Thank you very much. Before we get into anything, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Irene Ntiako. I am the lead creative designer and also the owner for Lady Victoria Designs. I'm a pharmacist. I hold a Doctor of Pharmacy degree. I have an MBA in Health Systems Administration.
Oh,
Just few things about what I love. I enjoy reading. I enjoy listening to good audiobooks, podcasts. I love going on long walks and also long drives.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Um, how did you become an event planner and decorator?
That is a good question. So it's all, let me tell you a little bit about when I was growing up.
Okay.
I was the person who decorated the church. I was the sacristan. I'm a Catholic, by the way.
Okay.
And so I decorated the church. Then fast forward when I moved to US, got my first apartment. I decorated my apartment. My friends loved it.
Okay.
Fast forward again, when I bought my house, I decorated my home, and all the people who visited my house, goodness, they all loved it. Everybody loved it. Now, the main event that really got me started on this path was my girlfriend's wedding. We had a friend in common who happened to have also been to my house before,
Okay.
who was at the wedding, and she asked me, Irene, did you decorate for Ina's wedding? And the lights went on at that point. I was like, oh my goodness, if somebody think I could have done this, then maybe, just maybe I could. So after the wedding, I called my girl up and I asked Ina, how much do you pay for your decor? She told me how much she paid, and I go like, I can do better. So since after that conversation with her, I made up my mind I want to go into wedding decorations. Granted, I had done some baby shower and some bridal shower, but once I made up my mind, it's wedding decor. I wanted to focus on wedding design. That's just how it all started, just focused on wedding design. Got my business cards together, told anybody who will listen to me, who will allow me to talk, that, hey, I'm an event designer. Granted, I had nothing under my portfolio. I didn't have no events on my portfolio, but yeah, that's how it all started.
Interesting story, actually. Very, very good, very good. That'll actually motivate somebody, because a lot of people are in those same shoes. They love to, design stuff, decorate, but it took somebody to let you know that you have that great potential that you can actually put to work. So great information there. Somebody is listening to you.
Oh, I
and
hope somebody is inspired.
Yes.
If you enjoy doing something, then you could be paid for doing it.
Right.
You have to make a conscious decision and throw yourself in, and you can make it. Yeah.
Thank you. Very good. So from what you said, it doesn't seem like you need any specific formal training to be a wedding decorator.
Okay. I always say there's two people when it comes to event design. There's that one person who somehow finds it so easy once they start. You're able to watch videos, listen to podcasts, and be able to figure it out. But these are people who seek for information actively.
Right.
So either way, they're educating themselves. Then there's this other group or other person who needs somebody to hold your hand. So they may have to internship under an experienced event designer and learn. They also may have to look for a designer who offer classes to learn the mechanics. So this person may need someone to hold your hand through the process. Then the other person, either way, you are both paying, because I paid for books.
Okay.
I went on YouTube. I read online, so I educated myself the informal way, but I still educated myself when I decided to go on this path.
Right.
So the other person who is going through an experienced decorator and also paying an experienced designer to teach them, eventually our path merges.
Right.
Either way, education is important.
Right.
However way you do it, it's totally up to you.
Perfect.
But you definitely need to learn. You need to educate yourself.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much for that information. I actually, I'm learning from you too. Thank you. Great, great,
Thank you.
great. So, okay, so what you said, in your opinion, at least it's good to at least have some kind of education. You shouldn't just go with what you know when you started. You should actively try to
You
educate
need
yourself.
to improve yourself.
Right,
And once you start and you decide you want to charge people, then at that point, it's business.
right,
So and it's 80% mentality and a 20% skill. So
right,
you have to start to simultaneously build yourself in both area, and both require actively learning,
right,
and sometimes, and most times actually, you got to pay. You need to expend money to
right,
acquire some of the knowledge.
right,
So
right,
it's
right.
not just, you could go on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and look up mechanics, look up other designers, but you still have to go that a little extra mile,
Okay,
maybe buy some books,
right,
sign up class with other designers. I personally haven't signed up with any designer to take any class. Once again, because these things comes to me like I'm breathing. I can
right.
look at any video, look at any picture, and know exactly what it is I need to do.
Okay,
I
great.
can listen to a client's vision and I'll go, my darling, I know exactly what you're looking for.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's a passion for me,
Okay,
but I also
okay,
know I need to develop it and educate myself.
okay.
Yeah.
I heard your story of how you got in there and, you know, started. However, how does a person, who likes to design or decorate or plan get into the wedding avenue? You know, that's a special path. It's not very easy to get into. So how does a person get into that wedding avenue?
That is a good question. So I guess I can partially say I was lucky.
Okay,
I did my girlfriend's baby shower and bridal shower.
okay,
Then I got one wedding to do.
okay,
Once I did the wedding, I knew for sure what I wanted to focus on. So
okay,
in that aspect, I'll say I was lucky. Now, you need one person to believe in you. I know it sounds almost like impossible to break into the wedding industry, but it's the same case for anything else in life.
right,
If it's wedding you want to do, then this is one thing I will tell you. It's very personal, it's very emotional. And that's the part that makes it a little bit hard if you've never done wedding before. So once you get one person who is getting married, who is willing to entrust you to take care of their wedding, then you need to go all out, because that
right.
one wedding is what's going to break you into the industry.
Okay, okay. You actually said something I was going to ask. I was going to say, was it easy? You think it's some luck to it, but I mean, I think you spoke on it. So,
I would say it's challenging,
okay,
but it's not impossible.
okay,
I spoke, when I made up my mind, I told anybody who will listen to me, I'm an event designer, whether
Right.
I had anything under my belt or not.
Right, right.
Because I knew for sure if anybody honored me the opportunity to take care of their wedding, I was going to do a fantastic job for them.
Right.
As to how, I didn't know yet, but I was going to figure it out.
Right.
So I would say you got to be mentally prepared and mentally strong. When
Right.
you decide to do something, then you just go all in and you do it. You will figure your way out.
Right.
The rest, you'll figure it out.
Right, and I can
Yeah.
really relate to that point. Very, very, thank you very much for that point. It's like you said before, 80% mentality.
Yes.
It's a lot of mind power. That's the difference between an amateur and a professional. You got to understand that you have the power to do it. You can do it.
Absolutely.
Right, right.
And
Thank
then
you very
you
much.
just go out and you look for the information
Right, right.
and make it happen.
That is very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's very powerful. So, I'm sure besides wedding, you've done maybe a few other stuff, a few other events that are not weddings. But do you think the wedding avenue or the weddings are more lucrative than other types of events?
It looks at it from a distance, and I can understand why it may feel it's more lucrative. Once again, the importance placed on weddings, the emotions attached to weddings. But I also would say there are other milestone events that clients put as much emphasis and as much emotion and as much importance on, that also require the same amount of work, labor work, floral work, that could bring you the same amount of money.
Okay.
So for example, a 50th birthday, That's a milestone celebration. Let's say somebody has been struggling to have a baby and eventually they get pregnant. That is a big celebration. So they could easily pay you as much money as they would have paid for their wedding to get their event produced. So I won't say the wedding industry or the wedding event on its own is what will bring you more money. No. Wherever you find yourself comfortable and where you find your passion and your love for, I would say if you focus on just being phenomenal, if you focus on being flat out fantastic, people will pay you. It doesn't have to be wedding.
Okay, very great information there. I'm having fun. I'm learning a lot. Thank you very much for that information. I was under the impression that probably weddings were it. But
it looks like it from a distance until you start, and then you talk to other people, you go on other pages, and you look at other events that other vendors are doing. You can tell, this costs as much as this wedding. And it's all involved the same kind of labor, the same kind of design, the same kind of material. So one or the other is not any lesser. Now, also mentality. You may get some clients who may think, oh, because this is just a baby shower or this is just a bridal shower or a birthday, I'm not willing to expend that kind of money, but I want this kind of decor. I want this amount of flora. That is when we as professional comes in, that we have to break it down to them. I understand this is not a wedding, but it's still involve the same amount of work, labor, material, and therefore this is the reason why it costs this much.
Right. That's very true. Very true. Thank you. The $1 million question.
I am ready for it.
If you do weddings, but how do a wedding designer or decorator find gigs? How do you find these jobs to come your way?
Good question. So most of my work has come from either word of mouth, so referral among my clients, also from just guests sitting by on one of my tables at my events. I've got a lot of calls from something like that. I also get gigs from Facebook, Instagram, Google. I run Google Ads, also Wedding Wire, and amazing vendors. When you work with vendors that you relate, you both do fantastic work, then you both become comfortable in referring yourself. So I have, let me shout out Femstar Productions. I love Femi. Wonderful. If you're listening, I love you. Femstar held my hand when I started. Porsche event, she's a planner. She gave me my first birthday cake. So she held my hand. So we all need each other, you know. So vendors, word of mouth, online, so social media. It's a great platform. If you're listening, you an event designer or running business if you're a small business owner and you are not using any of this platform, you should definitely consider.
Great. So in the wedding industry, what do you think are the challenges? Any cancellations, lawsuits, irate customers, and how do you keep that from happening, and how do you manage that when these things come up?
One thing I learned from my professional experience as a pharmacist is usually customers or my patient act out of the ordinary if they feel they are not being heard. And I brought that experience into my business. So I found out this event or the business we are in is very emotional and it's very personal. So as soon as a client or a bride feels they are not heard, they are not listened to, can cause these things. So I take my time to listen to all my clients and my customers, and I make sure they know I heard them. I see their vision. I give them this assurance and peace of mind that whatever they love and prefer, I don't say no to my clients. They are going to have it. So far, I knock on wood, I thank God, I have not had that problem yet. I've not had cancellations. I have some postponed. And of course, when the COVID hit, I gave them assurance, should you have to cancel because of something relating to the pandemic, then you have my word. You get 100% refund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, so, like we said, a lot of people from the outside looking in, they see a lot of things happen in the wedding industry. I mean, you've been there before. You've been outside looking in.
Yes.
What do you think are the expectations that people have that are not really there, or things that people don't see from the outside?
Okay. Number one expectation from our side is, oh, that's a lot of money. What we don't know is, yes, it's a lot of money, but it's very labor intensive. Overhead cost is expensive. And most times when you're invoicing, you're invoicing for what from experience you may need to create the vision. But the real cost hits when you really actively start working on the design, and you can't go back and ask the clients to give you more money. So if it's all about money for you, then it's definitely the wrong industry to be in.
Okay.
It is first about the vision. It is first about the clients, then the money follow. So it looks from the outside it's a lot of money, but it involves a lot that you have to love it more than just the money to thrive.
Okay. Very good. You talk a lot about love and passion in this thing that you do, which is great. So, in which way, or how do you think it has shaped your life, if any?
It's brought a sense of calmness to my life. In the past, I will go to work. I was a full-time pharmacist. I could rack up a lot of hours, be really tired, and somehow find a way to be bored. So I knew for sure there was something more to me that I kept searching and searching. I couldn't put my hand on until I started this business. I feel a sense of calmness and a sense of fulfillment. It's also helped me step outside myself. I'm naturally, and I don't know if you're going to believe this, but I'm naturally an introvert. But now I'm a functional extrovert because I had to step outside myself to be able to give the best of myself to my clients. So it's made me a whole lot better person. It's allowed me to step back and learn one more time about myself, build my mental resiliency, develop more love. Yeah, more love, have a purpose to my life than I did before.
Great. So, like I say, you're saying, you're giving us a lot of great information, right? But what inspires you to keep going, and how do you personally improve upon your skills?
What inspires me are my client's vision. I sit and I think about this, how a bride, she had her own path growing up, thinking about her wedding day, envisioning it. I had my own path, went through school, became a pharmacist. Somehow I found myself in the industry. And then I am the person who realizes this vision she's been living her whole life. I'm the person who brings it into reality. That to me is big. It didn't just happen by chance. So I take my business very personal. Like it's not just about money. There's a higher purpose to this. So that's one thing that really inspires and keeps me going. Yeah, knowing there is a higher purpose than myself, that I can serve on a higher, sophisticated level and be paid for it. You can be selfless and serve others, make them very happy on their day, beyond their wildest expectation. That is what keeps me going.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And how do you personally improve upon yourself?
Yeah, I buy a lot of books. I read a lot. I watch videos. I read bridal magazines and bridal blogs. And I practice in my studio. Yeah.
Great. So this journey, like I said before, you seem like you're loving it and you are all into it. It suits you, it fits you well.
It's a passion. And how I know is like, it feels like I'm just breathing. It feels so easy. It's not easy as in It's effortless.
Yes, it comes to you.
Like even when
Yes.
I'm tired, somehow I find the energy to keep going.
Yes.
I could produce a wedding in New York and you see me back in Maryland ready for the next wedding.
Right.
Like I didn't just go between two states.
Right.
Granted, it's only 4 hours drive, but still, it's involved a lot of physical work. So to be able to go back and forth and still, be happy and like, this is normal.
Right.
Yeah, it's very easy. That I would tell you, it comes to me easily.
Yes.
And I could do it for no money. And
Right.
that's probably also another reason why it's easy for me to say you cannot let money be the motivator.
Right.
You cannot let money at all. Money will come.
Yes.
Because you need money to continue to do amazing work for people.
Yes.
So God know for sure you got to be paid for your worth.
Right.
But money should not be the main focus.
Okay. And that I could relate to what you're saying. I call that a gift. It's a gift to you.
Thank you.
It comes just naturally to you. That's it.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you very much. So, do you wish that you had done anything differently on this journey?
When you start anything new, you will look silly. You will do ridiculous things. Others will sit behind and judge you. But the good thing is you are trying.
Right.
If I could have done anything different, I would say maybe one, gone to exercise and strengthen my back first before getting into all the manual labor. Because when I started, I would load the trucks with my team, offload, lift boxes. I looked fit, but I incurred this neck pain where I constantly have pressure in my neck.
Okay.
So that's one thing I would have done different. Learn proper lifting technique, The second thing I would have done would have been to take some time to learn a little bit more.
Okay.
I wouldn't have just rack up all the hours at CVS and I was just working. I didn't take time to breathe. I didn't take time to learn until the pandemic hit, when we were all forced to calm down. That's when I really went on a journey on really learning about myself, reading, building mental resiliency and all of that. So I wish that's something I would have done earlier. Either way, I'm glad. Whatever I went through on this journey, I love it. It's made me who I am today.
Great. Thank you very much. And let me take the pandemic thing that you talked about, and I'll give you a question on that.
Okay.
How do you think the pandemic, if any, has affected the business? In your perspective.
Okay. It did affect a lot of businesses, and it did really hit the wedding industry and events industry in general. Personally, for my business, when the pandemic happened, I still considered myself as new in the business. So I was mentally prepared, to either make money, not to make money, break even, not break even, run at a loss, because I was still within that 5-year window that you could either make it or you may not. So when it hit, I was just mentally prepared. Okay, well, I'm still new. What do I got to lose? But I changed it into something positive. I started thinking, now we are doing much smaller and intimate events. Maybe this is the time for me to really focus on the detail, really create this client's vision, make them even more happier amidst everything that's going on. So I can show the world what Lady Victoria Designs can really do. Because up to then, my work were nice, but they weren't as detailed. And for doing that, that actually sets the stage and the tone for my business for this year. So now I get a lot of brides and clients in love with the designs I did last year, that they want me to produce similar designs for them. So it grew my business about 3 times.
Wow.
I grew the business about 3 times more during the pandemic than I would have without a pandemic.
Wow.
So it worked. It eventually worked to my advantage, to the business advantage, by just focusing on making my couple happy.
Wow. I've noticed that the pandemic has opened up stuff for other people, and for other people hasn't had a negative impact. So I'm happy to know that it has done something positive for you. The maybe last question, if nothing comes up, is as you know, a lot of people, I've had calls. I've had friends tell me, hey, wedding photography, wedding videography, wedding this, wedding that. It looks lucrative. That's usually the motivation for people to get in there. I would like to get in there. A lot of people are thinking about getting in there. Some people know how to design. They want to get into this field, but it looks so mysterious to get in. They don't understand where to go, how to do it. What would you say to a person who is on the outside, trying to get into the wedding industry with, whatever the business might be? What is your advice for a person in that seat that's trying to get into the wedding industry? What do you have to say to them?
The first thing I would say is, if you want to get into this industry, it's good that at least you know what it is you want to do. The next thing for you to do is talk to people. I'm sure you may know one or two persons who are already in the industry. Create a business card, give it out, create an Instagram page. You may have to do some events for free to build a portfolio, but the first thing you need is that instinct and the desire to want to do it. Just work on that. Shadow, internship with an experienced person in the industry, but just go for it and you figure it out. Just start.
Okay.
And don't let money be the motivator.
Okay.
Money will eventually come, but if it doesn't come within the first year, don't give up. Second year, don't give up. Third year, don't give up. Fourth year, 5, 10, 10. Just don't give up. Just keep going and going, because if you do a good job, you cannot be overlooked in the industry. Clients will come to you, vendors will come to you, but you have to start and build yourself. The first instinct, the first desire for you to come in is all you need.
Okay.
Just start working on it.
Okay.
That's what I would say. At least that was my experience. So that's all I could speak for.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the information, the motivation, the powerful ideas that you've given us. We really appreciate you coming to sit down with us.